Episode 41 of Rubber Down. Today we are joined by Luke Stoyer, who competed at Timmis Speedway for the Whisky 410 Mildura Scorcher, and also Alex Attard, who competed at the Western Sydney Speedway's first event since new management's taken over and the track shape. Why I wanted to get some drivers on today was purely not to hear their stories, which I do want to in a different episode, but more to feel from the drivers who were at these events, their thoughts, how their night was, and just to mix it up for you listeners. I'm joined by AG, who was at Mildura over the weekend getting content for the show, but Binny couldn't be on today as his phone had a meltdown just before we started. So hope your phone's okay, Binny, as we're going to head to Avalon and Premier Speedway this weekend. So he might have to use my phone to film some stuff. This episode is brought to you by Eliminator Race Wings and BK Racing Performance Products. We start off today's episode joined straight away by Luke Stoyer. Luke, how are you, brother?
Yeah, going well, thanks. How you going?
Good, mate. Now,
Yeah.
started off the season out of nowhere in my book because I didn't watch much wingless. Maybe AG knows a bit more. But you've started straight away taking over the reins from, I think previous it was Luke Dillon and Chad Eli in this ride. First off, before this come about, how did it come about? And then we'll get straight into Mildura this weekend.
Yeah, so I knew Scotty, the team owner, and Michael through my partner, her stepdad's Michael, which is the crew guy on the car, the main guy. So that's sort of how that come about. But yeah, I knew Scotty for a while, and yeah, like we always were close sort of family friends, I guess. And then I was sort of in the wingless, and then I was racing for Tim Fisher in a midget. So we done that for 3 years and had good success in that. But then yeah, I don't know, when Jab was sort of nearly ready to finish up, and then Scott put Luke Dillon in the car just to do all the big races last year, or Speed Week, and I was tired on all that sort of stuff. So he sort of, I think he assumed I wasn't ready for it, so he put him in it. And then they obviously learned a fair bit off him, setup wise, and took the team to another level, I suppose. So yeah, by the time I hopped in the car was dialed in, and I felt comfortable straight away. So I done a few shows last year in it, done Easter Trail, and then straight to Darwin. So that's sort of how it all come about.
That's pretty cool, mate. I think you've took to it really well. Now, I didn't see much of your Easter stuff, but straight up to Darwin, that was a very tricky place, and you got the points championship there for Chariots, which must have been pretty cool for yourself as an achievement.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was a pretty gnarly track. We sort of don't really race on that track at all like the rest of the season, to be honest. It's very rare that you get a track that's on the wall, and even like the cushion there, I don't think it was really a cushion. You were just bouncing off the wall, so it was pretty tricky to get a handle of. But no, we were good sort of through the heats, and the features we struggled a bit up there just purely because the track was just, I don't know, it wasn't my main, but it was on the fence, and you were just bouncing the right off the wall. So to do that lap after lap and not junk it is tricky. So yeah, it's good to, like, we had outright speed, but to race the car, I think, sort of a different story as well.
Well, I was about to say that because bouncing off the wall is a lot different where that thing's going to eat you up. Now, let's move towards Timmis Speedway, Whisky Scorcher. Now, AG, we'll throw to you. You're a Mildura diehard. You're from there. Now, you were there hanging out, getting media stuff for Rubber Down, having a ball in the infield. Now, before we go to Luke, I want to get your opinion, as you've been to a lot of the 410 Sprintcar shows there, brother. What was the track like in the weekend with such big money on the line, for someone like yourself from Mildura?
No, all up, it was a great weekend, great crowd, great atmosphere. They've done really well with the track, especially with how hot it was on Friday. They still got that track going. It did go Rubber Down, but not as much dust as we've seen other places. So it was it was a good track all up, good racing. I thought the car count would have been bigger than what it was, but still, even with the cars that were there, produced good racing. Luke was on the ball all weekend by the looks of it, so it was pretty good.
Luke, would you say the car count, you were a bit surprised by it too, with how much money was on the line?
Yeah, I thought they would have had a few more. Like, I'm pretty sure Premier this weekend's got like 47 cars or something. So like,
that's so good.
It's crazy. But no, I suppose like the field that was there was all quality too. So you sort of can't take that away from them. But yeah, I would have thought for sure there would have been a few more cars. But That is what it is.
Was that your first time in a 410 at Mildura?
Yeah. I raced the wingless around there once, and that was probably 5-6 years ago, maybe. So
Yeah, right.
yeah, the place is cool. Like it's banked, it's sort of flat on the bottom, and then it's banks right up to the fence, and like I would say it's kind of like a mini Tolma almost, like the
right.
bank. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's pretty sick, because when I was watching it in the replays and stuff, I was like, oh, this place like definitely deserves to have sprint cars. Like, it's huge. Like, it's great. Like, there's a lot of room for you guys to race on and pass on, and it's not like, you know, you go to some country tracks and you're like, oh, it's probably not the best for 410s, but we're cool.
Yeah, that's
we're
right.
having a go here. Now, your weekend, mate, you came out of the gates. You set quick time, looking good, feeling fast. Now, just talk to us about the first night feature. You looked like the fastest car out there by country mile at one point. You got the lead, had a bit of an error. Talk to us just through those few laps and then trying to settle back and, you know, you're racing for points.
Yeah, kind of the race for points went out the window as soon as we started. Started off well, and then I sort of there with James for a while. Started off pole, and I thought I'd elect to go to the outside bend that was grip up there, and I gassed it off the start and then popped the wheels up straight away, and fell back to second, so it sort of bit me in the arse a bit. But I was in second for a bit, and then lap traffic come in, and then I sort of reeled him in, and got to a point where I'm like, shit, I got to pass him here. And then I just drove it way too deep into one, half cooked it in the slick, and then him and it was Lockie might have got back past me again. And then had a good race with Lockie. But yeah, there was heaps of bumps sort of through the middle. It was sort of slick on the bottom, slick up the top, and there was bumps through the middle, and it was tricky. But and then a yellow come out, and I'm like, right, I need to sort of like tame it down here and maybe just like try and put the right route in the sort of in the ruts, but not quite. Whereas before I was just driving through them, and then I think I went worse.
Yeah.
Well, I did go worse. So I hooked a right out of 4, smashed the fence down the main straight, and then done like another lap. And then I don't know if an arm broke. One of the right rear arms was all broken. I don't know if that was from the rollover or not.
Yep.
But it sort of just spun out coming into 3, and then sort of went fuel tank into the fence, and went over a couple of times. So that was a bit of a shame.
Is that like, I watch every lap. I'm a sprint car nerd, right? I love this shit, watching, and especially what we do now. But I do feel every time you're at an event or, around a good quality field, you are rising to the occasion and you're keeping up your speeds really well. Is it now like when you have a result like that night one, it's like you can feel everyone patting you on the back like, oh my God, look how much speed you had. You're so good. But you're like, yeah, but I didn't finish, bro, and I wrecked. Like, how do you reset, and then instead of the pat on the back, it's like, no, I just got to finish and beat these guys. Like, that's my next step. But you're so young and early into it, bro. But your speed is like someone who's been doing it for 2-3 years, I would say. Wouldn't you say, AJ?
Yeah, I just want to ask a question as well. I was talking to J-Mac after the Friday night feature, and he was saying, talking to him and the track curators, they were unhappy with those ruts in turn 1 and 2. But J-Mac turned around and said that it gives the track characteristic. What's your opinion on that?
Good question.
I think it does. Like, it's better than having one lane around the gutter. Like, you'd rather be plowing through the ruts and sort of elbows up, I guess. So, I think it's, like you said, gives it characteristic and puts a few more factors into the race for sure.
Well, it sort of does. Like, when you say it adds to the track, well, you guys that aren't experienced a lot are going to go to the bottom, and it gives you guys another lane above that stuff, to like race and then get into lap traffic where, one lane, like similar to that last night, it's not real good racing for anyone trying to move forward, even with restarts.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sort of. No one likes it when it goes one lane, especially the fans. So to sort of have ruts and the wheels are bouncing off the ground and you're driving through them, and I suppose they love crashes as well. So, but no, I think it's the ruts are good, but obviously when you crash because of them, it's not so good.
It's not good. Yeah. All right, I want to do something real quick here because we've got AG who was on the ground on the infield a lot. and then we'll go. I want to see Luke answer this, or maybe go if you're right or wrong. AG, from qualifying night 1 to the end of night 2, did you expect the track to go that way, or do you think they sort of changed their way they did the track with how bad those ruts were?
Well, night 1 they left it for most of the night. They didn't really touch it. Night 2 was different though, because there was a massive interval and they did a lot of scratching. I don't know if it made it better than night 1. I think the night 1 feature was better than night 2, but they did a lot of change and it just went pretty much rubber down without those big ruts.
Mm-hmm. Now, Luke, you're the driver and you would have watched the track all night, every night. What was your thoughts on, how the track's developed over the night?
Yeah, I think they sort of done well with what they did because, obviously we were there all night and all the next day on Saturday, and it was windy as shit. So, to keep the water into it would have been tricky. And then Saturday they had, street stocks, and I think it was a fair few of them, plus, modified. So, to have less ruts with more skinny wheel cars, I guess, it's probably better, I guess. But, yeah, obviously the track on night 1 was better because there was more lanes to race on. So, yeah, it's a tricky one, but I think they just sort of probably done the best they could with the weather that they had.
Yeah, for sure. And can you explain what the wind does? Because I feel like everyone just says, oh, if it's really hot, you got no chance. But it could be not a hot day, but windy as crap. And that can really affect the track, can't it?
Yeah, well, I guess when they just put the water on, it's just like a big blow dryer and just dries it off. So yeah, it's going to be hard to keep the water into it. But yeah, it's sort of hard to compare it to a hot day because you go to Darwin and it's always hot, and they put on a good racetrack.
Yeah, for sure. But I get you.
This depends on the dirt, I guess.
Now, one of the last questions I want to ask you before, thanks for coming on, just for a quick one today. What, after this weekend at Mildura, has that track, you think, the event, what they were doing with Cam Waters involved, the money, is that an event you'll always be going back to, even though the last night was a bit rubber down or whatever?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure. You can't just not rock up because a track does a bad job the last few laps of the feature, Yeah,
for sure.
That can happen to any track. So, no, we'll go back. But, yeah, no reason why we wouldn't, especially with the money on the line. And it's probably going to be more of a blue ribbon event now for sure. So you'd be sort of mad not to.
Well, it's in a good spot. And now we'll get to this week. Now, with the rain out, obviously, that happened a few weeks ago at Avalon. Now there's a Friday night show and a Saturday at Warrnambool, which is Max's race. Now, these are big laps for you coming into Speed Week. And then also the week of the Classic with the President's Cup and the Classic. So these type of nights, you got 2 big nights where they're, fields that you want to aim up against and be like, where am I at? Because this field's going to tell me. You know what I mean? What are you guys, besides obviously finishing at the pointy end, what are you guys looking forward to most this weekend at Avalon and Warrnambool?
Yeah, like I said, just get more laps and build the notebook on them sort of tracks. Last time we were at Avalon, I think we were running in 4th and blew the rear end up. So, and then last time we were at Warrnambool, we were running 4th. So, seems like we just keep running 4th positions, but I don't know if that's where we're at or. But yeah, so now just go back there and build the notebook and hopefully, get some more laps up the front and yeah, I think at this point, in my career, it's just about getting laps with the good guys and I can do 1 lap speed, no worries, but to race them and not make mistakes in the feature for 30 laps compared to J-Mac or something like that he can do 30 laps and not make 1 mistake. So yeah, that's sort of where I've got to build on, I think, and that's why we keep racing and doing every meeting that we can. Yeah,
for sure. And then coming to a real busy period, Brant Sprintcar Speed Week. Now, that's wicked. I can't wait to see that unfold, and it's a good car field again that have nominated as series drivers. Is that something that you guys are talking about, just going out and performing the best each night, or you actually trying to focus on points racing? What's your vibe on that week for you?
Yeah, I think with the money up for grabs and the prestige of winning the series, you'd be sort of mad not to go points based. But on the same token, when you go up for the feature, you're racing as hard as you can. So yeah, like I said, you want to do all the racing you can each night without making too many mistakes. So yeah, I think we'll try and race for points, but we'll definitely be trying to race for podiums and wins at the same time.
Well, yeah, sure. That take care of itself. It's a bit of a silly question on me, really. I was just thinking, listen, well, no, shit, you're going to find it at the front, and then if he wins all of them, he wins, eh? Last thing before you go, now, this team you've joined up with, was there any expectations or a sort of, let's see how this year goes, or there was a few-year plan here to get you comfortable in this ride?
Yeah, obviously they wanted to get me comfortable as quick as they could, and that's why we've done a few laps last year to see how I go. And to be honest, last year I had my own 360 car and I think I done 6 or 7 shows, and I was dog shit in it. I couldn't race the thing. I was horrible. Yeah. So I was like, when they called me up,
shit, I sucked.
I'm like, I don't know, I'm going to go here. Like, I don't know if Sprintcar races for me. Yeah. And then, sort of went to a Murray Bridge practice night, and we were quick straight away, like within a couple of tenths off the track record. So I was like, oh shit, I'm all right here. So that was a bit of a relief. So, but no, there was no expectation. There was just go out and do the best you can. And, Scott was like, it's going to take you 3 years to get up to speed. So to be up to speed already, and then we hurt the car the other night, and I was sort of like, oh, sorry, like feel real bad about it. He's like, don't be sorry. He's like, I don't give a shit. Like, you're having a crack. Yeah, that's all I can ask for. So
seems like a guy that if you're giving 110% and it doesn't go well, at least he's like, well, you crashed leading. You didn't crash in the B main running 12. So
exactly. Yeah, it could be worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
all right, mate. Well, thank you for your time. I can't wait to catch up with you over the next few weeks, over the next 2 months. But before you go, anyone you would like to thank personally, sponsors or cars or whatever?
Obviously Scott, Parrot, and the whole Parrot family team for their backing and put me in it, and I suppose taking a risk on a non-wing guy that didn't really achieve a whole heap. So yeah, to do that and be quick straight away is good. But and obviously Michael for all that he does during the week and everything, and the sponsors, TML Transport, Wilson Haulage, Rob from First National Real Estate, and Acme Removals. Yeah, heaps of people that help, and Bailey, one of my mates, he's always come with me racing since I raced the junior sedan, so he's still with me. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. All right, mate. Well, I really appreciate your time, and something different we're trying. I do have to get you on for a full episode to know everything, but I think we're working over the next few weeks. It'd be pretty cool, and we'll be getting a lot of footage of you. All right, so
yeah. That sounds good. All right. Cheers for having me on, boys.
Really appreciate you.
Thanks, Luke. Cheers, mate.
See you, guys.
See ya.
Eliminator race wings are Australian manufactured with recessed rivets for extra strength.
Manufactured with 6061 T6 aluminium for lightweight and strength. Sprintcar top wings, dished and flat, along with front wings.
They also have Formula 500 wings now available.
Eliminator race wings available Australia-wide.
BHR Fabrications in Brisbane, Par Motorsports in Melbourne, 16 Industries in Sydney, Sprintcar Parts Australia in Perth, and Peter Radford in Tasmania. One other guy I want to touch on real quick before we get Alex Attard on from Western Sydney Speedway. Timmis this weekend. Now, his whole trip in Australia was longer than last time. He did Canberra. I think he was supposed to do somewhere else with a rain out. He was supposed to do Avalon originally, actually. Then rained out. Went to Canberra. Should have won Canberra. Got involved with Jackson Delamont. Whatever. That happened. He looked really good there. And then I think he went to Murray Bridge. Was driving by some good guys in the dash and all that type of stuff. AG's freezing and his face was not looking good then. Sorry, brother. Sorry. And then this weekend, man, times well again. Night one looked good. But night 2, I think that's one of those features he's going to watch back and go, I'll let that one go. That was a big payday, and that was going to be his first Australian win in a 410 wing sprint car. But even besides that, it's he definitely performed, and I think for a lot of people watching, they're like, oh, he's not just a YouTube guy in America with speed cars and midgets. Like, this guy can drive a sprint car. Look, he was beating some of Australia's best and looked like he was going to win that race. So what was your thoughts on his weekend at Mildura?
Yeah, no, he did great just straight out of the gate. He was just unreal on the times. Awesome. I reckon in that, the night 2 feature, I reckon he just got like the move that J-Mac put on him for the lead was very aggressive. I don't even think Timmis was expecting that. It was a really, like, don't get me wrong, great move, but I reckon he might have caught Timmis napping a little bit there because that was just out of nowhere. So as much as, Timmis did a really good job, he just got very, unlucky with that move. I don't think he saw it coming. But apart from that, even at the end of the race, he was still keeping with J-Mac. And, I reckon if there wasn't as much lap traffic as what there was, I reckon Timmis would have had a good crack and maybe even won that.
I agree. I 100% agree with that. I just thought he performed well, and even though he didn't get the chocolates, I think this stint, I could nearly put it on the line next time he comes out here in Australia, he'll get a feature race win because he looked the goods. And Timmis is a showman, so make sure if you want to follow another driver on YouTube or socials, Timmis TV. He does all the YouTube. You can even tell it. He vlogs while he's in the race car at his GoPros, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
You can hear him talking about the Reds, and you can see him animated, which is, he's just the whole time creator content mode, which is awesome.
And one other thing I do want to say about him, as he was like a kind of an event ambassador while he was there as well. On the final night after the racing was done, he presented the trophies to the juniors, which was really a cool touch, you got this American driver coming over here, you're a junior sedan driver, you're 10 years old and you got someone like Timmis giving you your trophy. That's something you'll always remember. So I thought that was really cool by him, and hats off to him for doing something like that.
Well, YouTube is a lot of drivers are going to start doing it, I reckon. With the American, there's a lot doing it. You go, guys like Tanner Rico Abreu doing it. Caleb Montgomery dives into it. Zoe Pierce does a good job in Australia. I'm not sure if any other Aussies do it yet. Timmis TV, obviously. But it's a way that it really connects with the younger audience because they don't have Facebook. And soon, with these social media bans they're whatever doing, I don't know if that YouTube's involved with that, but it's YouTube's a very good place to connect and get fans from a younger age to carry on. And it's very, very cool by Timmis doing that. And any other drivers that surprised you or thought you did really well in Mildura, AJ?
I can't really think of many drivers that surprised me because there was a lot of the main boys at the front. But one person who did surprise me who wasn't as quick was actually Matt Eagle. Normally, the last time he came to Mildura, he was very, very strong, ripping it. This time, I don't know if there's something wrong with his car, but he was just a bit behind, which just really surprised me with how strong he normally is.
Yeah, I was going to say, they probably haven't started the way they wanted this season, Matt Eagle, but it's definitely not a knock at them. They're trying absolutely everything to get that thing moving to the front. And when Matt Eagle's on, it's on, and the car's on, he's a danger to win. And yeah, I could see that maybe it's not the way they started, especially up in Darwin. I think they got into a wreck up there and then coming back home. And I don't know if they're going to high limit again. I don't know. If they did love that aspect. I remember talking to him and the team, and they love the aspect of you drive. Yeah, it costs you to drive here, but when you're here, everything's here for 12 to 15 days. So, hopefully the 52 can get turned around and we see Matty Eagle back up the pointy end. I thought Jock was good. Jock got so close on night 1, and I think that was J-Mac settling in, like you said, racing for points, but man, it nearly cost him, which, he still won the big bucks at the end, but Jock was definitely the one chasing down and making that a big show. And, I think the track just wasn't jockey, I like to say, because normally if Jock Goodyear is on, its lights out. And I always try to say this around drivers and teams. It's like, I feel like we've got an era of drivers now that we've gone from the days of the 90s to 2000. Now we have drivers that are similar, like a Jockey, I would say like a Gary Brazier back in the day. When it's on, it's over. Like no one's touching. No one used to, if the 21 was on, light years ripping the lip, and now it's the same with the 22. Like if the top's on and that car's put together how it's supposed to be that night, they're racing for second. There's not many other drivers I feel that all over the country can be that dominant on a night. Would you say? Like, I know J-Mac has been winning a lot, but he doesn't start from lap one. His car comes to him and he races in. Lockie's been dominant at Toowoomba, but I don't remember the last time he's been that dominant at a track down south. He wins, but it's like races hard, like a J-Mac car comes good. Where I think Goodyear cars, it's on, it's over. Like, that's how it seems. So
it was good hearing from J-Mac, though, in that night one feature, the way he was saying, because he had a good lead on Jock, and then all of a sudden Jock come out of nowhere. And what J-Mac was saying is he's gone down low to chase the rubber, as you do in a sprint car. It's a normal thing to do, chase the rubber, where Jock did keep it in those ruts in 1 and 2 and caught him. And that's what J-Mac was saying. It was pretty cool to hear. He goes, you know, a lot of the time you think chase the rubber, but sometimes it doesn't pay off. And that was one of those moments where it nearly did not pay off.
For sure. It's I don't know, it looked like a great track again for sprint cars. Like, I definitely know maybe there was a tiny bit of rubber on that one, but I think that only made the race. Where night 2, obviously, it went that way and then it became that way. Which is, you know, it happens at every track. It's not just Mildura. Yeah. I'm not saying anything about it. We've seen it at Motorplex rubber. You see it at Toowoomba rubber. You see everywhere has rubber eventually. Like, calm down. Like, I'm not saying that in a bad way. And Mil Vegas, I do think that. How was it? I didn't really see much of the crowd. How was the crowd numbers, AJ?
No, the crowd looks pretty good, especially with, I'm pretty sure there was another Speedway meet at the Olympic Park with the bikes. So to still have the crowd, what they did was really good with the new bar setup as well. Looked like it was really good. But it's funny because normally the front straight's completely packed out, but they've only just recently opened the whole back straight to sit on as well. So it's quite hard to realise how packed it is because normally you're used to the front straight being so packed, but it wasn't because there's a lot of people on the back straight. So it was hard to tell, but to me it looked like it brought in a pretty good crowd. Even a Friday night brought in a pretty good crowd. So I think Timmis Speedway would be pretty happy in the Mildura community.
I do love the bloody Friday night racing. I can't wait this week. We've got 2-header. I'm heading down to Avalon and Warrnambool. Now, remind me, Mildura is on this power tour, hey? So they're going to be racing around the 14th, I think, of January before they go to Tolma. Is that correct?
Oh, I'm not 100% sure. I know it's somewhere around about that date.
Come on, mate. You're from Mildura. Work your shit out.
I know they start north and they head south. That's the best I know.
Yeah, they do. All right, so everyone, why Binny's not on today, he literally was loaded and his phone apparently overheated. It's currently in the freezer. That's what he sent me. I don't know if he's good. I'll even send him a text. How are you travelling? Okay, but in besides that, I know we really wanted to talk to our next guest, which is the Platinum Chook, Alex Attard, who raced at Western Sydney Speedway on the weekend, was involved with the whole night. Now, I'm going to explain the night from, if you did not watch it as a listener, and then I really want to hear how Alex's night was being involved in the event. He wasn't a watcher, he was a driver. So I was actually at a Lewis Capaldi concert on Saturday. By the way, Lewis Capaldi, what a weapon. So happy I got to go. Wow. He's a guy that I blare up and down the highways, and either when I'm sad or happy, he gets me. And even he says in his songs before he sings, he goes, you know, I was pretty messed up when I wrote this song. I was really sad. Didn't like myself. But I'm okay now. But I'm going to sing it anyway. Like, because he knows all these songs are sad. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, I was a bit messed up. And anyway, thanks for listening.
You know what? You nailed that accent pretty well.
Yeah,
I want to give it to you.
Not bad. And then he was even like, I'm getting sidetracked here, but he was even like, oh, I love Sydney. You're all so fat. You love it. I was even doing backstroke. I look like probably a shark. Yeah, I'm talking about my direction. And his concerts I would recommend because I just love when he goes on talk shows. I think he's funny as shit. So him at the concert, it wasn't a fancy like performance. He didn't need anything but him and his band, and his voice was amazing. So, and it was good. It was like an hour 15 concert. I was happy. Get me out of there. Anyway, back to what I'm talking about, Western Sydney. I paid to watch it on Motorsports TV, and what I was doing was, because I didn't want to watch it there, I sort of was, but I would put it in between my legs on the floor, and everyone was looking at me like I'm a weirdo, and Morgan was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just checking Sydney. She's like, okay. I'm looking. I was probably looking down like I'd pissed myself or something. But, so the event started, won't even turn on, let's just say there's a hole in the wall from my fist going through it. Oh, that's pretty aggressive, Benny. I hope not.
Just a quick question before you get into things. What was Motorsport TV like? I've never heard of it. So
that was going to be one of my things. Great coverage. Different angles, a lot of droney shots. I was good. And they even like went back to the commentators up in the top and very good. You know, when there's a big Clap of View event on and it's really good versus like a country Clap of View's not that good. Or that's just my opinion. It was like very up there with a very high Clap of View plus probably spec. Loved it.
That's good to hear.
A lot of angles, had infield cameras. I had it all. It wasn't just outside cameras, but a lot of shots and new commentator from Motorsport TV too. I thought he did well.
Yep.
From up in the box. But so what I'm going to say is the night went, guys, they did a pill draw 2 heats. Now, it was inverted, no time trials. They had sedans there as well, late models and something else. But the heat racing looked good. It started to widen out. Now, the thing of the night, which is what everyone's crying on socials about, but they probably weren't there. And if they were there, they probably felt it. But again, there's 2 sides to the story. I have spoke with the team from Western Sydney Speedway today just to get their thoughts on what happened. And, you know, they're obviously a bit like, well, crazy people still want it to fail or blah, blah, blah. You know, just negativity people out in social media land. Now, I will say, I was watching the feature in my legs when they first tried to run the feature, okay? So this is what happened. They ran it, and they go into one, every car disappears of dust. Like, gone. And on the live show, I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, how are they going to run? Right? And it was that bad. But this is where I'm not bagging out the place. I'm just telling you what is happening or what happened. Now, they pulled a flag straight away before the leader even got into turn 3. Like, flag, nah, they knew it was going to be no good. Now, they rolled around a bit, pulled him to the infield. The track, and I think the officials, probably more the officials on the radio, made a decision, no, this track is not raceable at this moment. We need to rework it. Now, from the track himself, I did get told that they scratched it a bit before this event, like the feature, but they didn't touch the very top. And it was literally like Charlotte dust, bro. Like, gone.
Question.
Yes.
How many laps they do before they stopped it?
I told you, the start of the race, and they didn't even get into turn 3.
Also, it's just 1 lap. That's it.
Right?
Yep.
So dust from the start and then dust from 1 and 2. It was crazy amount of dust. But they made the right call. 100%. Safety for the drivers and the fans. So they reworked all the track, and I think they pushed the sprint cars up probably after about 25 minutes, right? And then they pushed the sprint cars back, and they brought the late models back out to do their feature. So then the late models come out, ran their feature, track looked good. Then they pushed the sprint cars back out. They ran their feature. Feature looked really good. Multiple lanes. It got probably like, I would say, about a car length or half a car length from the TV off the wall. Now, we will ask Alex how far it got. He was leading majority of this. Got caught up in a bit in the top of the cushion, running about 3rd after battling Alex Orr and Ian Madsen. Spun. And then there was a huge crash between the leaders, Ian Madsen, after that restart. So after that restart, with about 13 laps to go, Ian Madsen was leading, ripped into 4, like got a good lead on Alex Orr. And then mid-corner, something broke on his car and he slowed down. And Alex Orr had all this momentum, drove up his left rear. Daniel Sayer collected him, so did Kinzer Claridge. Top 4 out of the event, like crashed out. That took a while to get him off. And then Jesse Attard actually regained the lead. Well, not regained, just got the lead. Drove away with it, but then also Mick Sauer, the Queensland guy, he's like the Lance DeWeese of Toowoomba and Sydney, I call him next. He pulls the wing right back and just rolls through the sleek. And rubber must have hit there with probably about 5 to go, and he nearly got the lead off Jesse Attard. Jesse
Wow.
crazily shut the door on him, like a big hard move, and got it. So Jesse Attard did take the win at Sydney, and we're about to ring his brother, Alex, the Platinum Chooks, and get his thoughts on it. But I just did want to say, so this was, where is it? I just want to get Jesse Attard made a post and about his win. So I want to start doing this to try to get the drivers' socials out there, if that makes sense. Like,
Good idea.
you know, like to give him a shout out. So where is it? Blah, blah, blah. No, not this one. So on social media, Facebook, it is just Jesse Attard. It should pop up. What was his? Nope, he had a post about it. Let me just double check. I'm not on the kookaburras. That means cooked. I just come up with that. That was really bad, eh? That was shocking.
That was average. That was very average.
It was very average. So here it is. So this was Jesse Attard's social media post, getting the W after 11 months out of the seat and a hectic week of build a car from scratch. Good to know I haven't lost my talent. Full stop. Thank you to everyone that has got us to where we are today. Teams with the thumbs up and whatever. So yeah, he's been out of the seat for a while, back in it at Sydney and got the dub. Now, was he going to win if the top four crash? It doesn't matter. He was there at the end and got the W. So good on Jesse Attard for picking up that win and the first ever winner at the newly named Western Sydney Speedway. Joining us now is the Platinum Chook, the 53 out. He did some laps around America, Pennsylvania this year, raced the Western Sydney Speedway this weekend. Had the lead, but I'll let him tell you what he did. And thanks for joining us, Alex Attard. Thanks for joining us, brother. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, mate. I've had better days at the racetrack, but look, we're still kicking. So, yeah, pretty happy that we had some good car speed there, and they've changed the format of the layout and stuff, but it's looking pretty good. So, keen to get back there.
Well, there you go. That was my first thing I was going to ask. Now, you've done a lot of laps at Western Sydney, formerly known as Sydney International. Was the change of the shape massive for you in what you did different there driving versus last year?
Yeah, it was a bit. So basically they flattened out the whole mound from the infield and flattened it. Actually, it reminds me of the John Kelly layout a bit. It's flattened out, but it actually gradually banks up to the wall now. So basically from last season, they've taken banking out of the wall, but it's still decent enough to get right up there and blow the tyres up against it and have some fun. So I enjoyed it.
100%.
I mean, hopefully, yeah.
That was one of my things I was going to ask. Like straight away, everyone was like, "It's so flat, it's so wide." But is it because it's so wide, it doesn't look as banked from the outside looking in? But when you're on it, it's pretty good.
Yeah, no, like on the track, I mean, like in the car was kind of deal. You just know to either get off the throttle and settle the car down, or you know when you can really blast it and just hold it flat and really get around on the top. But yeah, it was like just depends on how your car's all set up. 3 and 4 probably didn't get right up on the wall. It was a bit more marbly than what it used to be, but I don't think the weather held in too well. There was a lot at play. I mean, it did like halfway through the night, like when it, like the whole John Kelly layout and stuff, it kind of just created that groove in the middle of the track again, instead of just kind of like moving up to the wall. I think it's got a lot of potential. It's still a work in progress now. I mean, just depends on what equipment they have to keep it moving forward.
That was my next thing. So from last year, being a driver, now going back again with the new management and that, how did it feel being a team there compared to the last few managements from the Kellys to Boldy stuff of Wilmington? Like, was it still pretty positive on the ground or more of a let's see what happened tonight?
I think everyone's a bit skeptical about how everything's going to play out there. I mean, all we've got to do is play our part, support Speedway. It's been in pretty dire straits the last few years ever since we've actually moved to Sydney. I mean, the government's just thrown it towards us and not really cared about it by the looks of it. But we got to just try and get behind it as a sport and really show it our support and stuff like that. So, I mean, all we can do is turn up. It's easier to drive an hour down to there instead of 5 hours out to Dubbo, which I still don't mind, but I do like driving an hour to the track, and that's as easy as it gets for me. So, yeah.
For sure. Okay, so let's go into details and specs. Now, last year, the track at Sydney, you know it, belted up wings. Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Did that do that this weekend? Number one.
No, it was actually they had a pretty good handling on all the rocks and stuff in the track and stuff by the looks of it. I think with just how it was laid out, I mean, all my kick panels are almost beaten in and stuff like that. But I think it's just me running it in real hard and basically I just had to get the hammer out and just flatten them back out, and that was about it. Call it a day. But the rock situation seems to have gotten a lot better from last season.
Okay. Next question was tyres. Now, there were some nights at Sydney when it was really bad, you go through a set in the heat race easy. Honestly, what was your tyre program on the night, and what did you go through?
So basically we just stuck to using one tyre for a set of heats and then put a new one on for the feature. To be fair, the one that I used in the heat race, I could probably, in both my heat races, I could probably use it for another heat race or two, depending on how the track is again.
Yep.
Other than that, the feature race tyre, brand new, bolted it on. They watered the track. Actually, we started the feature race and they did one lap. They called it because it was that dusty, so they wanted to rework the track in safety reasons and all that as well. But by the end of it, I think it probably started laying rubber at 5 laps left to go, but it's like it still held up. I probably could have done another 10 laps on it, but I think they did reduce the feature down to 25 laps, I think maybe for the fuel stop situation. But all in all, I thought tyre wear was pretty on par for what they were doing. They were trying to keep it as good as possible for everyone.
Now, you already went into my next one. The next question I wanted to ask you, was that first go at the feature? Now, you're out in front. You're like you and Jesse started off the front road, yeah?
Yeah.
So you go into one. Now, you probably are going, it's pretty dusty behind me, but that's okay. And you get into 3 and they flew a flag, hey, like it was before you even did a full lap.
So I'm not going to beat around the bush here. We took the green. I went into 1 and I just tried, I thought my brother would be on the top, so I was just going to throw some Hiroshima slider on him and get to the wall as quick as I could.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you can beat this out or whatever it is, but I fucked that up. Well. I just went straight through the slick and sat there like a duck. I got passed by 4 cars, but we went into 3 and I couldn't see past the 3 cars that just went in front of me. Yeah. So they threw a yellow. They actually called Marcus Dumsney in on the back straight to ask him about, he was a bit further down the back, so they wanted to know in terms of visibility what it was like on track. Yeah. I did see some videos. It wasn't all that great for the fans. Yeah. I saw the flag. I saw a video of the flag man sticking his head out the fence because he couldn't see anything. So, but it was just good that they kind of pulled that up and actually took recognition of it.
Yeah, for sure, mate. Yeah, AJ, go.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask because obviously dust looks bad from the spectators, but actually down the track, was it really that bad?
I'm guessing I've been in the situation last season before. If it's looked worse the other night, but from memory, you couldn't see the car in front of you if it was 5 feet in front of you.
Yeah, okay.
It was pretty bad. So I could only imagine what it was like the other night.
Yeah. So now, being a driver and being involved in that situation, obviously, you were all standing on the infield, not sure what was happening. Was there fear that they were going to actually can it? Or you always positive that they were going to get it back and use it ready? And you would probably go and thank God because we can't race in that, yeah?
I mean, we kind of questioned, like, they let all our crew out and stuff, and we all were just chatting away. I think one thing we didn't really take notice of was what time it was that we started the feature. And they told us that they were going to work the track and try and get it in, and they ran the late model feature after track prep again. But we rolled back into the pits and we only realized it was 9:30. So, I mean, we weren't in any rush to really get the feature started at any time, but at least get a decent track in for everyone.
Yeah, and look, when I first seen it, like I was explaining it to AG, I was actually at a concert. And it was in between my legs. I was looking down, and I'm like, "Oh, the boys are about to start." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then I seen the dust and you were all parked. I went, "Oh my god, what is happening?" Because I couldn't hear anything. I'm just and I'm going, "Oh my god, what is happening?" No, it's over. What have they done? How the heats weren't too bad, whatever. And then I was like, "They're gonna can this. It's done." Like, that's what I didn't know, right? And then when they ran the late models, you went out. But overall as a team, now you said you're going to go back there. Obviously, you want to support it, and I want to support this place too. It's my 10 minutes. I don't know about your hours. 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
And I want a speedway that I can take my son to, because I need that for my life. But, they made the right call. And at the end of the day, you can bag it, or you can't if you want to sit on the fence. But at the end of the day, it did put on a pretty good feature race once they reworked it.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed how they got the track back in. You couldn't really complain. I mean, I led half the feature. I fucked that up too. I mean, what else is new? But I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's still a work in progress. It's still got a lot of potential behind it. I still think that the government needs to actually financially equip the track, or if they're not going to help fix the track, they need to give them the equipment to at least keep the dust down. That's a good start, but that's probably the cheaper alternative than to keep trying to turn the dirt over or changing the dirt or whatever they keep doing there. But I mean, there's a lot of other ways they can fix this, but we've got to try and start somewhere and still get behind it and support it.
Well, you've actually made a really good point there. No one's ever said that, eh? Normally it's just like the government needs to throw $1 million trillion back at it to redo these fixes, but you're just going, a few thousand, get them some machines, bro. Like, get them, because right now are they still in a similar spot to last year with limited machines? I don't know. I wasn't there.
So I know the track curator Cam Ware pretty well. I do have a bit of faith in him, actually. I remember going down when it was closed after the Kellys takeover. We went down south and Murray Bridge actually copped a whole heap of rain Christmas Day. And Cam was actually there. He worked the track, and it was probably one of the best tracks I've ever raced on, to be honest. Yeah. It was more of if you turned up that morning, the track was good for ducks, but nothing else. But Cam's done most of the PCR days, and he himself is a racer, so he understands where he's coming from, how everyone gives him some feedback, and he'd already know. But props to him. They've only given him what seems to be a tractor that kind of tears up the track a little bit, and the water truck. But he can only go as far as what equipment he's given.
Yeah. And there you go. Good car count. I feel like it was a really good shakedown for the venue. Now, can you really explain to people how hot it was in Sydney? It was a scorcher. And I know I'm not being that guy, but it's man, their first day was a bloody hard day to try with the track.
I'll tell you what, I handled the heat probably. It was good. Sydney heat's different. I mean, you can get in the sun and it will burn you alive, and then get out of it and actually kind of escape it a bit. But it wasn't all that bad being in the car wise. I mean, it got to its point, and then once the sun went away, it was all well and good, basically. They just needed to keep on top of the track after that. But, I mean, not only was it hot, it was also blowing pretty hard too at some points of the evening. But, I mean, we've had worse days with the heat, But I mean, yeah, it was. I was all right with it. I don't know how everyone else was. Honestly, I thought it was worse back in PA.
Yeah, right. That's interesting. Right. So, why I got you on here, though,
Yeah.
before you run away, what was it like, though? Jesse came out of the woodworks and then you was off the front row. What was that like?
Are you talking about the first heat?
Yeah, first heat, like straight away, like use them there. No, the feature.
Bro,
They've put this together perfectly.
yeah, I don't know how he pulled his pill. He must have drawn the 1. I've drawn the 4, so I knew I was going to start off the front row somewhere. I saw the lineups and I was actually pretty gassed because I had to try and prove a point to him, and I didn't beat him in terms of like how I'd drive or something like that. I actually just outsmarted him before all the green flag dropped, and it was funny because we lined up and I just started banging wheels and
Yeah, I seen it. You were.
I wasn't playing nice. I had to kind of be like, I'm not here to just let you get away with anything. So, but I followed the rules.
Look at you, Justin. Oi, bro, like I said, so I was at this concert and my concert hadn't started yet, all the pre-shit was on, so I'm just sitting there and Morgan, I'm like, yeah, I'm watching racing. And I'm like, no way, they've pulled the front row here. And I'm like, okay, let's have a look at this. And I see you giving him no room, and I'm like, oh, they're at it. Here we go.
Not to mention my old man starting out of last.
Yeah. What was that like? Dad being back in the seat on race night and you both are racing?
Oh, mate, I parked well away from them. I didn't want to be part of that at all. I went there to try and do my job. I only half did my job.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I know Jesse knows the win that he got was lucky. I mean, that's like I said, the court night, you got to take the luck when you can get it. But it was pretty funny. I saw my old man pulling the infield going in turn 3, and I just go down the front straight and I just stuck my arm out and gave him the bird.
Oh, so good. All right, mate. Well, what are your plans for the next few weeks? You doing this weekend at Avalon, or are you just waiting for Speed Week?
So I'm probably going to try and get down to Warrnambool to run Max's race on Saturday. Yep. I just ran that past my dad, and he was all aboard for it. So I'm happy that I'm kind of given the green light to go down there. Yep. Other than that, we've got so when I stayed in PA, I was actually staying with TJ Stutz. He's coming out. He's sending a motor over. He's going to be running a car over the January period, basically, and then jetting off back home. But so it's going to be a very busy month, I guess. We get towards the end of the month, we'll do the Sprintcar Speedway, the Power Tour Classic Week, and the Aussie title and all that. So, but I think it's like 20 days in the month that we're racing or something like that by the looks of it. So keep him busy.
Well, you should be used to a bit of that in America. It doesn't stop over there, does it?
Oh, definitely not. It was, I tell you what, PA Speed Week was pretty brutal. I hope that's kind of geared me up for what I'm coming into right now.
Wait a second, you're saying brutal here. Didn't that rain out 5 days, brother? You didn't even get the whole thing.
No, 3.
Are you sure? So you got 7 out of 10. Okay, well, I'll fact check there. Good. So I can't wait for that. Now, I remember last year at Warrnambool, we just had a random chat and you were a bit shitty with yourself going, I just can't get this place. Every time I come here, I go to Sydney and I'm struggling. Now, do you think the time you have had in America, like you're going to just... You feel like you're going to be more confident at all the tracks now with how big those American tracks were and what you've learned?
Yeah, I mean, I just got my gear back, so hopefully we're kind of on top of what we've been doing. Basically, ever since the first New South Wales round at Dubbo, I've actually had to borrow Brett Hobson's motor. He lent it to me for Dubbo, Canberra, and Tolma and Adelaide. Yep. So I was still waiting on all my stuff. I was just very grateful he'd lend me all his stuff. But we had a bit of trouble down south where we geared his motor wrong and we were well off the pace in qualifying and it hurt us. So hopefully getting our gear back. We're back on top of what our scheduling would be and making sure everything's right, and hopefully we're quick down there. But so I'd like to try and get down to Warrnambool this weekend, try and cut a couple laps, see how I can go, or at least get us set up and try and do something over the next month there. And but no, I'd like to think that I watched back the other night and just how I controlled the car, and I felt like I was a lot smoother on the wheel, and I kind of picked that up in PA at the big tracks and stuff, not throwing it in as hard and washing off a lot of speed. And I think the biggest problem with me was just trying to get through lap traffic the other night. So something to work on.
Which is that, like, it's another aspect of racing in what you're doing. All of a sudden you get this speed, you're passing cars, you're starting near the front, and it's like a different chapter of your racing career. Now it's like, well, I'm not passing these guys for position. It's to get ahead of the guys that are chasing me down, or I can't lose the guys that I'm trying to beat. Yeah,
that's it. There's actually a big thing that I learned growing up, and it was actually from Steve Kinzer. He actually is like telling my mum about how he knows of how she races, and basically you just got to know how anyone on the track races and what line they'd pick most of the time or how they are. So it's kind of just observing how people are and trying to get up to them. And I mean, you got people that are, I don't want to be rude, but they're all over the joint. And they're very difficult to pass. 1 minute they're up the top, next minute they're down the bottom, and they just can't hold a line, and it makes it that much harder. And I think I kind of got into that a bit the other night, but I'm trying to work my way around how to do it a little bit quicker and dispose of people to try and get ahead better. So, I mean, it's all fun racing everyone, but I don't want to be getting held up.
Yeah, well, for sure. And even in the lap traffic side, I guess, does that mean now when you're travelling or you're at the tracks, you're watching the races a lot more, or you're looking back on pay-per-view? Because, these guys you're going to be racing over the speed week, and they're the guys you're racing in the classic too. So they're good, marquees, and, those big events you got to pass or your weekend's over.
Yeah, that's it. Like, just try and get a gauge on how everyone else is getting around the track. And basically the other night I finished my heat race, jumped on the scooter, quickly tried to go watch heat 3 and get a glimpse of what everyone's doing and what's going on. But I'd like to think that we've got some decent pace, and I want to try and carry that into the shows that we're coming into against these other guys and see what I can do.
Yeah, for sure. All right, last thing before you go, what's the one thing, or it might be a few, but from what you guys are doing and learnt in America, you really want to bring back here and implement in your programs weekly?
I think, like, as a team, we went over there, and so my crew chief's not Brad. He's basically a guy that raced wingless for a couple shows, hurt his back. He's kind of been a big investment for me, and like just to try and teach him some stuff. And he's very understanding about how a car works and stuff. And I try to give him some good feedback. And I think over the last few weeks, we've been pretty good about bouncing ideas on how the car's handling. And, but I think like looking at how I've changed up my driving style from what I would say was recklessly aggressive at times.
Yep.
To trying to be a lot more calmer on the wheel and trying to get the car as straight in as possible into the corner and just keep flowing that speed through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%, brother. Well, that's all. Thank you for your time tonight, and I do have to get you on for a full episode because I want to hear all your stories in America. I know you boys would have tore some shit up. So, all right, brother. Well, thank you, and I'll see you on Saturday at Warrnambool because I'm going to be down there. So I'll see you then, brother.
All good, bro. See ya.
All right, thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate.
AJ, well, there we go. Alex Attard, that was really cool to hear his night from his point of view. And what is some of the things you took away from that about, not being a guy that's ever been to Sydney, but a track that is in the working progress of, building something?
I mean, I think first thing to take out of Alex is, you know, I've never been to the track and all I've seen is social media about the track and it hasn't been good as of lately, but the positivity he has towards it and how he's already thinking of ways they could do it better and all that. Like, it's just great initiative coming from someone, you know, that's a local to the track, drives the track whenever he possibly can. It's just a great initiative to have. And to be honest, I reckon there'd be a lot more drivers from Sydney that would have the same opinion. So it was definitely good to hear, especially with the government as well and his side of that. You don't hear much about that. And it was just really good hearing from him about all that.
Yeah, for sure. That was one of those things where, now my mic's being way too loud. One of those things I definitely wanted to hear just, you're in the car. And I think, you know, he was very respectful and when everything wasn't perfect. And I think we just need to hear that honesty. But still, he's like, well, there was positives. I'm still going to go back there. We need to go. We need this, blah, 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 which was great. And again, Motorsports TV was so good. So,
I mean, all up, it sounded like he had a blast there on the weekend. So that's definitely a good thing to take out of it.
Yeah, there was a lot of family stuff with him, Jesse back. They were literally put together front row, then front row of the feature. Like, there was a lot for them, just not on a race night as usual. So that was really good. Now, what is it? So, yeah, Jesse Attard won, Mick Sauer third, and Brody Davis got the podium. So that was the top three at Western Sydney Speedway. Good on Jesse getting that win. Now, that thing I do want to throw to is Perth Motorplex. WA Sprintcar title. Now, AG, Kaiden Manders owned and won the night. Kaiden Manders won the speed car. John, I want to say the name right because I thought it was the WA speed car title first, but it wasn't. It was the something classic. I want to make sure I got it right.
John Day Classic?
So Kaiden Manders, I just want to say his name right. I hate when, especially it's a big event, you say someone's name wrong, but it was the John Day Classic for the speed cars. They had Caden Brown and Harry Stewart there and the Perth local guys that are good. Caden Brown got the win there, then backed it up and won the WA Sprint Car title. Now, that is massive for that team after the start of the season, the controversy they were involved in around the TC device detector and with the absolute garbage that thing has brought to the sport and trying to bring teams down because I'm not a fan of it. And guess what? This weekend they didn't run it and Perth had a perfect show. Wow.
Exactly. What a surprise.
What a surprise there. But no, I didn't want to talk about that anymore. But what a night. Manders showed the speed he probably had on the first night before that. Brock Zierfox came out in the S&D Motorsport. The Sean Curran car looked great. Looked like he maybe was going to battle Manders for the win, but I think the rear end or something like go in the car completely pulled infield. Kingshot and Cow were racing good. Cow had a bit of a collapsed wing in the feature, and then that's when he slowly tipped back a bit. Another guy that started off the night electric was Jason Kendrick. Went quick time, won his first heat race, moved a bit forward, and then he just backed it up in the feature. Don't know if they had car problems there. But that's probably that's the first time the Kendrick 11 has been to the front end qualifying. That's good. I think they're on the right trajectory, that 11 team, AG. Mayola had a good night again. Lancaster showed speed early. There's so many guys that are showing speed. Now, the thing about the WA title, though, AJ, it's sort of run like a mini classic. So it's straight out qualifying, no groups. So no, if you are last, you're cooked or you got to pull something out. Yep. And then they do 2 rounds of heat inverted. So if you're off 1, then you're off 8 or last or whatever, right? So a lot of racing. The track was pretty much ready for feature at the heat races. Now, there was an incident in one of the heats, which my brain hurt watching. I even watched the replay again today. So Chris Coyle started off the front row of Kendrick. They said he jumped, but in the replay you couldn't really see because they were on Kendrick's like GoPro camera. Yeah. And he was back and forth. And he drove all the way back past Kingshot, past Lancaster and Kendrick and won the heat race. And then after checking flag weight in the heat race, they're like, Coyle's been put back 2 spots for jumping the start. And I'm like, hang on a second. He was in 4th going into 1. So I don't know if they miscommunicated. Maybe he jumped it and it was unsafe but But I don't know how
Yeah.
you can punish a guy for jumping the start if he goes all the way back to 4th and wins the heat race. So something else must have happened there. I don't know. But Justin Wetter was there, an American as well. He said he had a bit of car trouble later in the feature. But first person, I think, to do the double on the night in the Perth Motorplex, John Day, and the WA title. But an American still has not won the WA title.
Wow,
So
there you
there's
go.
a fact there, brother. But did you see anything, AG, from the Plex?
I didn't see anything. I did see there was a couple stacks, which there hasn't been too many stacks this year at the Plex. Or it seemed like it was a bit of a
Well, it was a very tricky track. It was a very tricky track because, I don't know, they had a fast Friday too. So they had a Friday night event with all the limited and all that wingless. Wingless was a 2-night show because I think next weekend, if I'm not wrong, WA wingless titles there.
Yeah.
So even Walshy was there from
one
East
Friday
Coast.
night.
Yeah, one Friday night, and he said he's bringing his own car over, but it was just more he's getting those laps and getting his head around the Plex before the Australian title. So
yeah, well, he's doing well because the week before he was actually here in Mildura and won the SA title, so he's on a bit of a roll at the moment, Blake Walsh.
Now, there's another thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to be a bit competitive with this. Now, My Race Pass, if you don't have that app yet, get it. Because it gets you, I'm not going to lie, it is the best for live nights, watching and knowing the events, the grids. Like if the tracks have it, as soon as they put the grids up at the track, you get it on your phone. So before you're even watching, you can get the grids and everything like that. And I'm all for this. Now, what I love to do is fantasy. So My Race Pass have a fantasy side. And how it works, right, I'm going to get it up here. So My Race Pass Fantasy. Yeah, I got mine here. So let's say we're going to use Perth Motorplex for an example, everyone listening. So it's free to do. When I say free to do, you have to have the monthly subscription app to play it. So you get the live timing, all the good results and upgrades straight away, and you get to do this fantasy. And some tracks like the Plex actually have gifts and winners for the night of fantasy, like they're involved, right? So
what's the price monthly?
I think it's like $6 to $9, maybe $6 to $8 or something like that. Depends if it's American or not. So Perth Motorplex on the weekend, for example, let's use that. So it had 10 matchups. So because they had 30 drivers, they separate the drivers in groups of 3. Now normally it's off results or like a seeding, and they don't have all the good guys together and then, you know, all the guys that haven't won a lot, they try even it out. So, for example, the first group was Brad Maiolo, Taylor Milling, Dane Kingshot. I went Dane Kingshot. Second group was Kendrick, Harding, Williamson. I went Williamson. Third matchup was Aaron Shercott, Michael Keane, Jai Corbett. I went Corbett. Fourth matchup was Coyle, Williamson, JD Dak. I went the Dak attack. That one was more for you. 5 was Lancaster, Pride, and Inglis, and I had to jump on Lancaster of how good he went the other week. Matchup 6 was Craig Bottrill, Mikey Green, and Kaiden Manders. I went Manders on that one. Matchup 7 was Tom Callahan, Harrison Pete, and Cody Clayton. I went Cody Clayton. Matchup 8 was Matthew Cross, Chad Pittard, Brooke Newsom. I went on that one. Here it is. I went Chad Pittard. Matchup 9 was Christopher Harrison, AJ Nash, Luke Oldfield. I just felt like AJ Nash was going to have a go, but Luke Oldfield was the guy in there. And then matchup 10 was actually a bit of a tricky one. It was Priolo, McKenzie, Whittle, and Zifos. And I went Priolo because he makes a good coffee for me. But anyway, so that is how it works, guys. Now, you're probably thinking or listening, I would have picked this guy, I would have picked this guy. Whatever. Go do it yourself and try beat me, because it comes up Codeman Racing if you can try beat me. And on the night, I didn't do so well. What did I ran? I think it's down here somewhere. Blah, 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 blah. I ran 114th. How good is that? Now, there was 100 and I think 153 people did it.
Right? So you're pretty bad.
Hey, it's not last. Okay, Binny was worse, right? I beat Binny, right? So that's just how I explain it to you. And then at Sydney, I did it, and it was the same, and I ran 14th. But that only had How many people did that have? That only had. Here we go. It's here somewhere. Oh my god. That
Did you
had.
beat me?
Yeah, I beat him
Sydney?
at both. I'm the best.
Yeah.
36 people did it at Sydney.
Mm.
So you can do it anywhere that has My Race Pass attached to their live timing. And what I also want to show you is when you're checking the night of how your drivers are going, it tells you actively, like after qualifying, how you're going, like where you're running and whatever. And then, for example, when you're looking at the grids, your guys have a little bit of like a little purple fantasy on them.
Wow.
So when you like see in that heat, my guys were. I did pick Luke Oldfield. There you go. See, I was lying. I did have Oldfield, but see, my guys ran there, and then Ryan Lancaster. What's he doing down the bottom? Come on, Ryan, you let me down there. But so when you're there, it's giving you live update on how your team's going. So when you're at the track or at home, you can be next to your few mates, or even texting your mates on Messenger group going, how's your fantasy team going? I'm beating you, whatever. And it's free to do weekly if you have the subscription. I am all for this now. I think that they're only making it better and better each week, but My Race Pass, fantasy, I'm all for. I'm so competitive. And if something that is for the sport that can bring people together, that is free and everyone can do, I'm all for it there. So out of that, AJ, was my team pretty good picked? Do you reckon?
Yeah. Look, it wasn't bad, to be honest. I pretty much would have been the same. I reckon that one, which it was it Kendrick, Milling, and
King
Williamson?
It was
King Shot.
Yeah. How can you not pick Dane, bro? How can you pick, like...
No, I don't reckon it was King Shot in that one. I reckon it was.
It was. I know. I just seen it. I'm 100% sure.
Well,
Right,
I just doubled things hard. I would have went Kendrick because of the performance, mate.
Well, the thing, did you really just say for performance at the moment when King Shot just won like 2 in a row? Listen to yourself. All right, so this was Binny's team at Sydney. So it was between Ian Madsen, Alex Attard, Kobe Wright. He went Kobe Wright. Matchup 2 was Lachlan Corn, Daniel Sayer, Luke Thomas. He went Luke Thomas. Matchup 3 was Luke Sturt and Mick Salah, Ben Atkinson Jr. He went Benny Atkinson Jr. Matchup 4 was Alex Orr, Jesse Attard, Blake Skipper. He went Alex Orr. Matchup 5, Mick Turner, Marcus Dumsey, Ashton Maneath. He went Marcus Dumsey. Matchup 6, he went Kings of Claridge, Callum Walker, Ben Matchett. He went Kings of Claridge. Matchup 7 was Kobe Elliott, Brody Davison, Kai Jensen. And then the last 2 was Cooper Norman, Peter Attard, Luke Sayer. He went Luke Sayer, and Mick Sauer and Joseph Licaradello, and he went Mick Sauer. Now, I think he was pretty close there, but I still beat him. So I don't know who let him down there. But it's good that you sort of can't just go with your gut, I feel. You got to have a few throws in the dark. Because maybe like the Perth, if you look at Perth, the 2-heat format was not a consistent night to what they've been running. So fantasy, and you can go die hard into this, guys. Before you pick your team, you can see where they're qualifying. You can see, like, in the future, you can look at their group of qualifying and make these choices. And it's not just, and I think you have till qualifying or something. I don't know. I think normally it closes, but sometimes you can drag it and they leave it open. So look out for that. I shouldn't be giving tips away here. Jesus. All right. Just before we go, last thing to touch on.
Can I say one thing as well?
No. Yes.
Something that's really important to our channel and everything we do is there was 2 massive liveries that dropped. Stephen Loader, Andrew Piolo, take a bow. Those liveries, unreal. Have to be in the top 5. Unreal. They are great.
Both in the top 5?
Yeah, both of them in the top 5. Stephen Loader, that Flipside car, Tiffany Blue, awesome. Andrew Priolo going with the blue and the white.
Wait, what?
With the 4 on it, looks unreal.
What? Tiffany Blue? What is that?
It's Tiffany Blue. That's the colour. That is the colour.
Bro, can't you just say teal?
No, it's called Tiffany Blue.
How do you know that? Can I just say, what about the Chad Gardner shirt? That's gangster.
Yeah, that's good, eh? He just dropped some more, so have a look at his website. But look,
what's his website?
That's Tiffany Blue. Look, that's Flipside Sunnies, and that's Tiffany Blue.
Oh,
there you go.
All right, real quick, just to touch on then. What if you had to do another top 5 from being at the racetrack and seeing a lot of good ones? Go top 5. Now, again, liveries. I might have a new one too, I reckon.
All right. JD Dack has to be in there. Stephen Loader, Andy Priolo. I'd probably go Jock Goodger. Can't go wrong with Jock Goodger's livery.
Yeah.
But, and then my fifth would probably be, I'd say McHugh's because I like the blue more than the green and black. Wasn't a fan of the way he's on the blue and white this year looks sick. So that'd be my top five.
Good. It does look
Yeah.
really good. Yeah.
Mm.
Mine's top five, no order. J-Mac's new car. Love it.
Mm.
I did love his Napa one, but I do like the red and black better. What else? I do like Ryan Newton's a simple, love it. Similar to Jai Corbett's. They're very similar, but I like both of them. And then there was another one I was seeing in person. Yeah, you got Jai Corbett's front wing. How good.
Yeah.
Who else is it? I'm a fan of Marcus Dumsey's new one.
Yeah, it looks good, eh?
It's like this old school vibe. And then merch. Matt Dumsey and Marcus Dumsey merch looks great. That's very good. Dumsey Racing. Who else was it? Kaiden Manders one has really grown on me. I think that's very clean livery. And obviously when it's winning, it looks better. And then there was someone else's who's grown on it. Someone else's has grown on me after watching it a few times.
East Coast, West Coast.
No, it's gone. Oh, I'll just throw Kendrick's white and gold one. You can't get.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's tough.
So good. That's tough. Yeah. And Kendrick, I just think after seeing the Kendrick car again at Napa, well presented.
Oh,
sorry, Cricky car. Sorry, Cricky car, just well presented race car. So that's my few. I'm frothing over when I see him. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good race car, baby. And yeah, so all right, so getting into this weekend. Before we go, because it's been a long episode, I would have edited it by now. You're listening to it because we tried to get some new guests. Let us know in the comments if you do like having maybe the guests on. We'll try it a bit more. And I do want to say one more thing. If you want to help support the podcast, like a mini sponsor, if you ever wanted to, you can go to our Facebook page and get a subscriber badge, or go on our Spotify page and now has membership options there too. Now, we haven't added anything to it, but whoever is a member, whenever we get Rubber Down merch, you are getting a shirt for free, even if the membership's $3, because thank you so much for your monthly $3. All right, so I really appreciate that. But all it costs is about, $3 to $2, and the more people we get to support it, the more we can do and more we can travel as a team and a unit and grow this for you, because you're our weekly listeners, and I really appreciate it. All right, so the last thing I want to do was, I think it was Premier or Avalon put out the nominations. So it's a really big field. Luke did touch on it just before, how big the field was. It's Premier. They're always all over it. Premier Speedway, Warrnambool. It is going to be a big field. Here we go, the lineup. So it is huge. How many sprint cars? 47 noms. That's surely going to be maybe 40 at worst at Avalon, then 47. So it's nearly a classic night field, brother. Just think about it like that. 47 sprint cars. Current nominations sit like this. In the A1, James McFadden. I'm not doing all the rest like that. Relax, okay? In the V2, though, so Lockie McHugh's not going to be in his car. He's going to be in the Ramsey car. Stephen Spark, Brock Hallett, Tim Hutchinson, Bobby Daly, Lachlan Cornt. Nice. Sydney Traveller. Go, Lachlan. Chris Jones from Tassie, Jai Corbett, Steve Loader, Phil, I can't say his name. I've botched it. Why can't I say that?
What is it?
Micallef?
Oh, McAuliffe? Is it McAuliffe?
Yeah, wow, that's so bad by me. Sorry. McAuliffe, Phil McAuliffe, Luke Thomas, another Sydney guy, Ethan Wiley, Tassie, Brody Davis, Adam Alexander, Dennis Jones, Glenn Sutherland, Jock Goodyear, Lee McGavin, Will Carroll, Jack Lee, Daniel Pesca, Andrew Hughes, Brenton Farah, Jamie Ville, Eddie Lumbar, Ashley Cook, Grant Anderson, Daniel Storer, Chad Gardner, Marcus Dumsney, Jeremy Kupcher. Sorry, I haven't heard that name before. Good on you, Jeremy. I'm going to have to ask him on the weekend what that is. Jackson Delamont, Tim Farrell, Randy Morgan, Puck Scott, Matt Dumsey, Jordan Charge, Ryan Jones, David Addersley, Ryan Newton, Justin Morris, Grant Stansfield, James Oliver, Dane Court, Luke Storer, and Peter Dukas. That is your 410 lineup for this weekend. Wow,
Thanks.
wow. Now,
Could also,
yeah, go.
yeah, could also be more. Alex did tell us that he might be coming that way as well.
There you
So,
go.
nominations
The
could be going up.
numbers could hit the 50 there. And I do
Mm.
want to touch on something after reading the name, and thank God I read it. Jack Lee is racing, but today he posted, and I cannot wait for this, and I hope he's where I'm going to be at. The Knoxville National Tuscarora 50 2025 champion Ryan Timms is coming down under for the Jack Lee 25. Wow. What a driver. What a guy to put in your car. Give me a Ryan Timms shirt right now, because he was our first ever driver to come on the pod, and he might be coming back on very shortly before he comes down under to talk about his absolutely breakout season with winning the Knoxville Nationals, the Tuscarora 50, winning a shit ton of races at USETs. I think he was the track champion at USETs, surely. Wow, what a year him and the Lee Big Motorsports team have had, and now he's coming down under. And I think he's going to be, we know the Jack Lee car was great with Sheldon. I think Warrnambool, if they're going to do the Classic, which I hope they do, I reckon he's going to get the pointy end, because he can get around Houston like a weapon. And I think Warrnambool, he's going to eat up. Mm-hmm. So I can't wait for that. I don't know their schedule. Do not know. They haven't said anything, but wow, what a pickup for us here in Australia to watch that bad. 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Just send it.
And
good.
Good on Jack Lee Racing as well. We had Sheldon out here, a couple seasons ago. He just keeps bringing them out. He's got a good team, awesome cars. So love seeing that team do well.
I'll just say it again. The 18-year-old, 2025 Knoxville Nationals champion and 2025 Tuscarora 50 champion, Houston's track champion, Ryan Timms for Jack Lee. How good. Oh, let's go. I'm so pumped.
So you blessed him. You got the
whatever. I can't. I remember when Binny and I did the first ever driver episode with him. We said, like, you ever going to come to Australia? Like, what are you going to do? And I said, you're able to, like, we were G'ing him up, like, you're allowed to go out here. You're 18. He's like, oh my God, really? And then he was like, asking about spiders and shit. I'm like, oh, maybe on the East Coast. And that's where he's maybe going. Like, if he's going to be there, which I don't know. Like I said, people just maybe got me there, but I'm just going to suggest he's going to be there, because Jack Lee's East Coast, loves doing all that stuff. But if they go to high limit, even better. They got another American. That's going to be badass. Like, he ain't going to be, as we say, he fucking spiders though anywhere he is. Like, he's going to be racing that thing to the front. So, and if you don't know much about Ryan Timms, start YouTubing, because he'll pop up pretty quick about the last year he had. So that's awesome. Avalon the night before, AG is going to be a great field as well. Watch everything on Clay-Per-View this weekend. Now, there was also some New Zealand action with Tanner Holmes, Caleb Montgomery, some other Aussies there. I didn't see much. Brendan Crouch is there. Now, I did see on social media the first night, wherever they were, 2 laps in the feature got caught off. It was that dusty. So I don't know exactly what track that was. But then Caleb Montgomery got a win the other night. Now, I don't know if these guys are coming east.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, like, east when maybe west. I mean, to Australia. Now, their dates haven't been. Yeah, but I don't know. Their dates are open.
Yeah. How good's Max Guilford, though, over here at NZ1?
That's good. That is good to see. Even like J-Mac and him race next to each other.
Yeah.
Like that.
And one thing I've got to say as well, I spoke to his team when I was taking the photo of the car at the start of night one. Yeah. Funniest team I've ever, like, they are so funny.
They're good?
Yeah, really good people. So, yeah, they're awesome. Awesome to have a chat with. I'd recommend if he's at the racetrack, go down and say good day.
He's got some cool T-shirts, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
They look really good. So you're going to see him in action this weekend. Avalon Raceway, Sprintcar Fireball Derby, and Super Sedans as well. Super Sedans at Avalon. Not a bad shout. And then, obviously, Max's race at SunGold Milk Stadium, Premier Speedway. This is their big race for them. It's huge. All right, so, at this moment, Biddy and I are going to be down there on the ground. AG, you coming or what? Or you not?
No, sadly I'm not. I've just got a new rental, so I'll be
in for 1 week. In for 1 week, out the next day, like that.
You know what,
Oh,
Bro, you are in Melbourne, so instead of going on the track, I think you should come give me a hand
I'm
moving.
not in Melbourne. Turn it up. I'm not in
Hey,
Melbourne.
Avalon's Melbourne, mate. Avalon's Melbourne. You come give me a hand.
Turn it up. Turn it up. All right. Thanks you, everyone. Of course, thank you to Eliminator Race Wings for supporting the pod. Now, we haven't done Moments of the Week. Today was a big episode of changing, so we did forget. I'm already going to say it right now. My Eliminator Race Wing. Wing Dance of the weekend, easily Kaiden Manders. That's massive for that team. Love it. The double up was awesome. And my BK Performance Products moment of the weekend. Oh, what's my moment of the weekend? There was a lot that happened this weekend.
Mine would have to be Jock and J-Mac coming to the line.
Easy. There we go. That is a perfect one.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Kendrick going quick time. I was thinking about that. Then I was thinking about Luke Stoyer just being a badass, and going quick time as well. What else was there? Sydney, the moment could have been that crash was crazy.
Yeah.
I could even say the moment of them reworking the track and getting the featuring, good on them. There's so much, but I think, BK Racing Performance Product moment of the week was the finish night one at Mildura with J-Mac holding on and Goodyear ripping and tearing coming down the outside.
0.044 it was.
Yep, so that's our moment of the week. And Eliminator Race Wing Dance of the week, easily Kaiden Manders. So there we go. All right, there's our moments. And thank you to BK Racing Performance Products and also Eliminator Race Wings for getting on board with us. And anyone else that wants to join in, get on board. We're going to get better with our sponsors, okay? Because I just was a new episode. Relax. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, AJ. Good job at Mildura. And talk to you soon.
Thank you. Cheers.